Hey everyone, thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Robert Olguin. Deportation flights have long been a part of immigration enforcement, but as we've reported, the Trump administration is now using military planes to send undocumented migrants back to their home countries, including flights out of Fort Bliss. Joining us now in the studio is KFOX 14 News at 9's Vania Castillo. You were at Biggs Army Airfield this morning, where one of those flights was taking off.
Yeah, no, and it's just so different hearing it and then seeing it for yourself and bringing it to the viewers at home. Massive aircraft, the C-17s. Again, we saw one compared to a commercial flight, and just the size of it is enormous. We want to go ahead and show you everything that we saw while we were out there today. It's a little after 9:20 a.m. and this military plane behind me has just been loaded up with deportees. Now I'm here to document everything that I can and to understand more about how El Paso is trying to navigate these continuing changes in immigration policy and how it's impacting the borderland.
All right, so what you guys just got to witness here firsthand is the whole of government approach and the utilization of every resource possible to securing America's borders.
Flights are part of President Donald Trump's national emergency declaration on the southern border, including executive orders to limit asylum claims and fast-track deportations. This specific flight heading to Guatemala.
The reason these flights in particular are of significance is because it underscores the consequences of illegally crossing the border in the United States. If you come to the United States and illegally cross the border in violation of 8 U.S.C. 1325, you will be removed.
Now, deportation flights have been happening for years, but what's different now is the Trump administration is using military planes to get people out of the United States faster, and these planes are leaving out of El Paso. This one specifically will be going to Guatemala, and for many of these people, it's a last ride out of the United States.
This is a significant consequence because for some people, it takes 30, 60, 90 days and a lot of resources to travel to the border, the southern border, before illegally crossing. We can have you back in your home country in 7 hours on a flight like this.
The Trump administration says it's about efficiency, faster deportations of undocumented migrants, fewer delays. But sudden changes in immigration policies have left border cities like El Paso trying to adapt. State Representative Vince Betta is sharing his thoughts.
And unfortunately, I think, what we're seeing, under the current administration is there's a lot of fear and uncertainty now in our communities. For those who have criminal records, violent criminal records, I think that, yes, and those individuals should be deported, and I think current law allows for that. But again, it's the widespread deportation, and again, the administration considers even those who are here illegal, and maybe they've been here illegally for 20, 30 years. They consider them criminals that should be deported. I don't think that's the way to go.
Now, this is as close as we're able to get right now to the plane. Now, when we got here, at that point, most people had already been loaded into the plane. Now, from what I was able to see, it seemed like it was mostly adult men. Now, we are, working to get more information on who exactly is on that plane. But this plane here is designed to carry troops and heavy equipment, not people.
Border Patrol told us they would not be taking questions, but I was able to ask if there were any women or children on the flight. I was told that they would have to get back to me. They did, and we were told that there were 56 men, 16 women, and 8 members of what they call family units, which means there is at least one child and one parent.
So, Vanya, it really is really interesting to see it actually play out there and to get an up-close look at that. Now, how up close were you allowed to get? What kind of access were you given?
Yeah, so when we first got there, we were about a football field away from the actual plane, so very hard to actually see things for ourselves. Tried seeing things through the camera. We were eventually allowed to get in a lot closer. Still very, very brief moment that we were allowed to actually be there to see things. And again, the migrants had already been loaded onto the plane by the time we got there, so we weren't able to see that process come through. But again, Border Patrol also not really answering or allowing us to ask questions, so pretty tight-lipped out there tonight.
Well, Anya, thank you for that.